predicting a US dollar collapse and is actively preparing for this to eventuate. The UAE has just abolished all taxes on Bitcoin and crypto. This is absolutely massive. And the deep state, they're in panic mode. They are actively trying to shut down free speech, to cancel the First Amendment. China has hacked the US, and then we have new Bitcoin whales accumulating like crazy. This is the Bitcoin news with the fast facts. Let's dive in straight away. What's your guru? Blackrock secretly prepares for the US dollar collapse. This is October 1st, 2024. Couple of things here. With the BRICS bloc actively seeking the demise of the US dollar, $1 trillion asset manager in the US is secretly preparing for the greenback's collapse. Indeed, BlackRock may be looking to protect itself and its clients with a new investment fund it has created. Now, Dennis Porter, BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world with 10 plus trillion assets under management, is presenting on Bitcoin in the history of money to investors. You are not bullish enough. This was over in Brazil last week. What makes Bitcoin relevant? Medium exchange, store of value, unit of account. And then they go into the timeline of money. We've got another clip, another screenshot to be able to show you shortly. But let's zoom up to the top. So BlackRock CEO issues a massive warning after crypto flip that powered a Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP price boom. US Secretary Janet Yellen has warned countries around the world are moving away from the US dollar. As the spiraling 34 trillion, it's like nearly 36 now, US debt pile fuels fear of collapse, with Bitcoin and crypto slowly chipping away at the dollar dominance. It's what we're here for. Now, as the Radical Project 2025 policy plan puts Bitcoin on a collision course with gold, Yellen has said she fears US financial sanctions will reduce the role of the dollar around the world as Russia encourages the use of Bitcoin and crypto. The world is healing. We have very powerful sanctions that are available because of the important role of the dollar in international transactions. Yellen told US lawmakers on the House Financial Service Committee this week, the more we have used sanctions, the more countries look for ways to engage in financial transactions that don't involve the dollar. We have a tool to be able to move away. They're actively scared of it. This is an old video by Hillary Clinton, but she's talking about the power of Bitcoin. Shakeout before a breakout. Looks like 63K is in play. Shout out to everyone watching live, watching the replay. We'll dive into a bit of a banter at the end. We've got about 20 minutes of the news this morning before we get into a little bit of a rip. If you haven't already, hit subscribe before you vibe. And Hillary Clinton sending the signal in a roundabout way.
And then one more area that I hope nation states start paying greater attention to is the rise of cryptocurrency. Because what looks like a very interesting and somewhat exotic effort to literally mine new coins in order to trade with them has the potential for undermining currencies, for undermining the role of the dollar as the reserve currency, for destabilizing nations, perhaps starting with small ones, but going much larger. So when we think about this new environment in which we find ourselves that we've been discussing for the last some minutes, we can't just think about nation states. And then one more area.
I absolutely love it. It's undermining the dollar. I think the dollar's undermined itself there. Now, James Lavish, good afternoon. The US government borrowed $382 billion in the last 5 days. Have a great weekend. The debt's getting absolutely out of control. So back to Dennis Porter. Okay, so BlackRock, they're now presenting slides with the dollar losing purchasing power next to a diagram of the characteristics of money. How are we not at $1 million per Bitcoin? Yet slowly, then suddenly, purchasing power of the US dollar has declined. Back in 1913, over 100 years, it's lost 97% of its value in 100 years, and it's falling rapidly. It's lost about 50% in the last 4. Now, they go on to compare Bitcoin, gold, US Treasuries. The supply Bitcoin, it's fixed, gold, semi-fixed, US Treasury, unfixed. Volatility for Bitcoin, it's high. Length of track record, it is short. Governance, it's decentralized. Gold, it's also decentralized. Maybe debatable with gold and US Treasuries, they're highly centralized. Cost to move, low. for both US Treasuries and Bitcoin. Gold very high. Cost to store high for gold, low for Bitcoin and Treasuries. Bitcoin, the clear winner. You can see down the bottom there, 25 trillion for US Treasuries, gold 14 trillion, Bitcoin's only at 1.3 trillion. Slowly and suddenly this thing is going to rip, and it looks like we want to hit 63K today. If we can get above 64K, which we've been trying to do for like the last 2 weeks, then we can move higher, but we've failed to stay above it convincingly. Foss, diving in here, Greg Foss. Today, the USA reported the biggest monthly spike in government workers on record, 785,000 people. Puts the unemployment rate at 4.1% versus 4.5% with no government hiring. How does this impact the deficit, you may ask? It certainly expands debt, GDP, and deficit, GDP. Probably not bullish enough. Now, over in the UAE, they've made history, and this is absolutely massive. They've eliminated all taxes on Bitcoin transactions. It's bigger than El Salvador's adoption of the asset. You're still not bullish enough. Buckle up. This is Michael Sullivan chiming in. Now, over to Cointelegraph. The UAE exempts crypto transfers conversion from value-added tax. The UAE has exempted cryptocurrency transfers and conversions from high-added tax, positioning itself as a more crypto-friendly jurisdiction for digital asset transactions. This is absolutely massive. This is huge. Amendments, and this is retroactive. You can backdate it to 2018. For anyone already over there that's paid the taxes, you can get it back. Unprecedented. Amendments to the value-added tax, which is the VAT regulations, the United Arab Emirates will exempt transfers and conversions of digital assets, including crypto. October 2nd, UAE's Federal Tax Authority, FTA, published amendments to the country's VAT rule, according to business consultancy company, PwC. The new rules include VAT exemptions for additional services, including managing investment funds and transferring and converting virtual assets. PwC noted that the exemption in the transfer and conversion of virtual assets will be applied retrospectively from January 1st, 2018. If you're in the chat and you're living in Dubai, congratulations. Well done. Probably get a little bit back. If you're thinking about going over there, even better. Totally tax-free. It's looking pretty cool. The world is healing. Now, Eric Belashunas, is that right? No disrespect, Eric. ETFs globally took in 477 billion in Q3, which crushed the old record by 30%. Blackrock and Vanguard took in about 100 billion each. China added 65 billion, which is crazy high thanks to government QE spree. Total global ETF assets now 14 trillion. We predict 35 trillion by 2035. A lot of that's coming for Bitcoin. Are you ready? And Bitcoin truly is just going to go up and to the right forever. Obviously, we're going to go through these cycles and these waves, but when we zoom out and we'll get into the price, it's up and to the right. And I think Q4 is going to be absolutely epic. Now, Bitcoin, it's the 6th largest monetary asset in the world. Number one is gold at 14.8 trillion US. The United States, 5.88, Eurozone, 5.74, China, Japan, and then at number 6, above the United Kingdom, above silver, above Switzerland, above India, well above Australia. Look at that, a measly $2.29 trillion. Bitcoin's at 1.19, nearly a trill more than this little island nation state. Wales, they know what's up. They're accumulating like crazy at a pace never seen before, really at a price never seen before, or very little in human history. We are sitting at 62,785 this morning. It's pretty interesting. The new whales, they're there in the red. The old whales are still accumulating as well. Absolutely hectic. This is just a PSA. Magnanimous Maxi, I know someone who had their house robbed last night. Ledger and seed phrase were in the stolen safe. The safe was recovered as open. The ledger was lost. The seed phase found. UTXOs now safe. We are so early. Don't store your Bitcoin keys at your house. Multi-sig is probably the next step to be able to go into it if you are looking for a bit more security, but please don't keep it at your house. That makes 0%. The USA, looks like they've been hacked. US government created backdoors at ISP, internet service providers, to spy on its citizens, and then China has hacked these backdoors and used them to spy on the US. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. Little bit more context by Mario. Chinese hackers, they breached the US court wiretap systems, telecom giants affected. New details reveal that Chinese hackers, they access networks of major US telecom companies, including Verizon, AT&T, and Lumen Technologies, possibly maintaining access for months. It's a little bit scary. What have you been looking at, ladies and gentlemen? The breach targeted infrastructure used for court-authorized wiretapping and other internet traffic. US has named the group Salt Typhoon, while China has denied the accusations, claiming the US is fabricating a false narrative. Hacks coming out around as we're leading into the election are very, very interesting. What's next? What are the tests they're going to put us through? Oh, this video is absolutely insane. It's time to upgrade to a privacy phone running open source OS software. Proprietary closed source software poses a threat to your privacy and could pose a threat to your Bitcoin. Open source everything. I'll bring this up. Quick 28-second video by Tony the Bitcoin Way.
What stops Apple, assuming, let's say, they get coerced by the US government, to flick on a switch or release an update on the OS level that all of a sudden now starts screen recording everything that's going on the phone? So they can't break the encryption of the apps that you're using. But if they wanted to monitor what you were saying, then this would be a sneaky roundabout way to do it.
Get your Bitcoin off the exchange, protect your phone, protect your infrastructure. Bitcoin is generational wealth. It's what we are here for. You get into Bitcoin number go up technology, that's absolutely amazing, but allows you to be a sovereign individual if you hold in self-custody. I see Dan Hooper, off Coinbase now, thanks to you, man. When I tried to get off the exchange, they wouldn't let me send it to any of my personal wallets. I was forced to convert it to USDC, then transfer it out. Total scam. Please get your Bitcoin off the exchange today. That was Coinbase. Absolutely insane. They continue to go down every time Bitcoin starts pumping to be able to cool the market a little bit. Real quick shout out to today's channel partner, channel sponsor, the Bitcoin Way. Tony and the team, they're the best in Bitcoin, bar none. If you've got Bitcoin on the exchange, you've got any concerns, if you need to have a privacy phone, you can reach out to the Bitcoin Way. They can protect your digital infrastructure, give you a health check, make sure you're doing everything right. The best thing is the first 30 minutes is free. They'll never touch your keys. They'll never touch your coins. I've put a link at the top of the description. Reach out, talk to them for 30 minutes. Find out if you're doing everything right. If you are, you don't need their service. They're not going to waste their time. They're busy on a mission. But if there's somewhere where they can help you so you can sleep easy at night, it's well worth it. And I'd highly recommend that you take the time to do that, as well as securing your Bitcoin. Step 2, protect your device and online privacy. That's where you can get a de-Googled phone. Now, switching gears a little bit, there's something that we touched on last week, but Dell sold $1.2 billion of stock recently. He sold quite a lot this year. He has been tweeting about Bitcoin nonstop this year as well. We do see big whales buying Bitcoin, so is Dell coming into the space. He definitely understands that holding fiat is a melting ice cube. Is he worried that the stock market's going to collapse, or he's literally just taking profits out to be able to go into Bitcoin? I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Dell has not come out. He has not confirmed anything yet, but he surely is paying attention to Bitcoin. A book by the same name, Pay Attention to Bitcoin. Got one more signed copy to give away. We'll get Joseph Vogel on the channel, maybe even this week. We'll see how things fly. But Dell sells 10 million shares. On Monday, Dell disclosed that founder and CEO Michael Dell sold 10 million shares at an average price of $122.40 for a whopping $1.22 billion. Let me just get rid of this alarm. 2 seconds. What happened? When we go live, these things happen. I'd like to know what your speculation is. 100%, I believe Dell is one of those whales that is accumulating. He could also see things happening. Maybe people are jumping in and taking away a little bit of his AI market share. There, other people within Bitcoin are really getting excited. I reckon there's a pretty bloody good chance. Now, David Bailey, Trump is going to win. We're going to free Ross. The Bitcoin cabinet will be appointed. The strategic reserve will be established. Other nations will follow. One Bitcoin will be $1 million plus. Economic growth booms globally. The American dream thrives for generations to come. Manifest destiny. Not unrealistic. If Trump wins, maybe this is going into one of the biggest pumps ever. If Camilla wins, maybe we get a little bit of a dip and then it pumps absolutely forever. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Both parties need to print money. The debt's so unsustainable. It's all good for people that hold Bitcoin. It's not good for inflation. It's not good for the cost of living crisis, the housing crisis, grocery prices, electricity prices, everything else that's getting way out of control, food prices. Without hard assets, Bitcoin being the hardest, best form of money that's ever been engineered in human history, and it's just under 16 years old, people are going to get absolutely destroyed. So well done for everyone for being here. It's hectic times. Let's hit refresh this morning. It's about the same. We've got 62,750 in the background. CoinGecko is always a little bit more bearish, 62,568, which means it's a little bit cheaper to be able to buy, stack and chill this morning. But we have gone up, haven't broken 63K. It is trying. Maybe we go sideways for a few hours and then retry. Again, a high 62,910. So bloody close, yet so far away. 64K is really the number for Bitcoin to want to start playing, but 61,829 is the low in the last 24 hours. If you are just tuning in now and you haven't already, hit subscribe if we vibe. Greatly appreciated, because it will help push Bitcoin over everything, whether it's on X or YouTube. The more people hit subscribe, share the video, it'll push Bitcoin content out there. While Bitcoin is so cheap, it's under 100K, the more that people can start to study it now, because it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes 15, 20 hours to get a good understanding, but 100 hours for a solid foundation. We need people to start to put in the work now while it's still cheap. So if you can help me get the message out there and get people to buy, stack and chill, or at least just study Bitcoin, pay attention to Bitcoin. It's that one thing that'll allow financial freedom in people's lives. Market cap, $1.236 trillion. We played this last week, but it's a little bit of a reminder. Bitcoin poses a massive threat to the new world order, the deep state, these unelected three-letter agencies that are trying pretty well to rule the world and have total control over the population, because he who controls the money controls the world.
Used to boost productivity and economic governance. Addressing risks arising from Bitcoin is a key element of these discussions.
Who are the risks for? I think the risk's for them, or the risk is for us not to hold it in self-custody. Please do not let them get your Bitcoin. Of course, they're going to continue to try. They're going to continue to put out propaganda, programming to be able to do it. Like, what are they so afraid of? Hillary Clinton on CNN, panicking, calling for censorship of Americans on social media. What are they afraid of? Same things happening in Australia. And the most disturbing thing about the misinformation, disinformation bill here in Australia is they want to be able to silence people like myself to be able to talk about the banks. They may not have enough reserves in there. The fiat system, it's dying. Mathematically, it's certain that all fiats go down to zero. They can't fix it. It's going to happen for the rest of our lives. It's been happening for our whole life. Yes, it's ramping up. It's getting worse and worse. They want to silence people. They don't like the truth. It's fucking evil. It's tyrannical.
Whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control. And it's not just the social and psychological effects, it's real harm.
They lose total control. I can't stop they'll have to stop funding their wars and misleading citizens. So let's hit refresh and make sure we are in the right time and space this morning on the block clock. Let's go. Block height 864,487. Every 10 minutes, roughly, we get a new one. 49 seconds ago, we added to the time chain. Sats per USD, just under 1,600 Satoshis for every $1, every one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin's made up of 100 million Satoshis. You don't need to go out and buy a whole Bitcoin. You can. And if you can get to one Bitcoin, maybe do everything in your willpower to be able to get there. It's like buying a $1 million house today for $62,687. It's just a little bit of time. But for every $1, 1,598, you can buy $5 worth, $10 worth, $100 worth. You can buy $1 billion worth. However you make it up, you don't need to buy a full Bitcoin, but you can. Fee rate today, it's cheap. Good time for UTXO management if your Bitcoin's on the exchange. Today's the day. People just hope and praying it's all going to be good. It's going to be fine and dandy. Please don't. And maybe your exchange is fine, but people over and over again, the exchanges keep going bust. It's the best thing that you can do to be able to take self-responsibility for that generational wealth that you're stacking so hard for your future and your future's future. Now, that's just a PSA. We talk about drinking spring water only on this channel. I haven't drunk tap water for many, many years. It's because it contains fluoride. Fluoride's a neurotoxin. They put it in toothpaste as well. City of Albany, Texas stops adding fluoride to drinking water after new study links fluoride exposure to drops in IQ. Make America healthy again. There's just these subtle little things you can do. Spring water, it's not very expensive. I went and bought 30 litres yesterday for $30 Australian, work out like $24 US. Sure, you can get water more expensive. You can get it cheaper as well. You know, $1 a litre, it's a small price to be able to pay because we are what we eat. We are what we consume. We don't want poison in our water. Anyway, that's quick PSA. That's the news with the fast facts. If you're hanging around for a bit of a banter, let's go. If you are heading off and you haven't already, smash the like button, hit subscribe. We will see you tomorrow, Monday to Friday, 7:35 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to all the legends. Gargoyle first. Steve Smith. Rally Vincent. Let's go. What a day. Bitcoin is still so fucking cheap. How epic is it? Shakeout before the breakout. I think we've had this shakeout for the last 6 months, Gargoyle. And it's slowly, then suddenly, like we only get 10, 11 days a year where Bitcoin actually moves and rips up. I think it's getting ready for that. Still a little bit of uncertainty around the election. Did you see Trump and Elon Musk? Elon Musk was just so freaking happy. He was just so pumped to be there the day. He said, I'm not MAGA, I'm dark MAGA. I thought he said he was drunk MAGA the first time. I had to listen to it a few times, but it was all in good cheer, and it looked like a pretty cool rally. Left or right, though, the government, they're not saving you. Bitcoin and self-custody is really what saves and protects us. And it's super easy, and you can do it today. Jake Thomas, Gary Guzler, Liz Borden-Warren are rooting for which team? Two good Halloween masks to scare your fellow woke-tard Bitcoiners. Dudes, Lightning Goat in the house. Clinton's, I wonder if she got that stain out of that dress. Bloody brutal. Earthbum, aloha. How is Hawaii this morning? Are you getting into those freaking ginormous waves? They look absolutely terrifying. Otherwise, there's some pretty epic snorkeling, I believe, in some of the islands in Hawaii. But how is it? Did that cigar ever dry out? Gargle, bloody hell. Jake Thomas, sicko pedos undermining women for decades. Hillary is a dinosaur, a wrinkly old dinosaur. I should look into getting me one of those government jobs. They pay the bills. Stop it, Hillary. I can't love Bitcoin anymore. Lightning Goats. Get yourself more Bitcoin and you won't need a job. OPD, were you affected at all by the hurricane? We call it a cyclone over here. I think they spin the opposite way with where you live. You're still only eating meat? No, I eat steak and jerky as well. Yes, I'm still eating meat. That's today's like day 19 or something. Yes, I had the craziest sugar cravings, but out of like it's been epic. I just feel so onto it, and just the energy is out of control with it. Drag a dollar bill in a trailer park. Carville was the head of the snake back then. Wowee. What comments? Well, Dan Hooper, I read it out, but I'm going to read it out again. Off Coinbase now, thanks to you, man. It's thanks to you. You put in the proof work. You took action. You take 100% self-responsibility yourself. Mate, fucking pat yourself on the back. Well done. You've made yourself into a living fucking legend. That's the go. Well done. You've truly, like, that's the best. You just made my fucking day. You've taken self-responsibility. You've done the right thing. You're now a free sovereign individual. Make sure you obviously run your node, protecting it. Your seed is on steel, not on paper. If anyone's got their seed on paper, please sort that out today. Go to your hardware store, buy a cheap engraver or some stamps, a bit of steel, engrave it, and then order something better. But just do it today. There's no excuse. It's absolutely insane. But Dan Hooper, fucking well done, man. Absolute legend. Thank you for taking responsibility and doing the right thing. This is how we defund. This is how we separate money from state. It's the whole point of it. It's to make the world a better place. It's only possible with people holding Bitcoin in self-custody. It doesn't need to be everyone. It needs to be a core unit. So everyone here that's doing that, thank you so much. Damn, Dan F. Coinbase. Is Peter Schiff Satoshi? Fuck yeah, Peter Schiff is Satoshi. It'll be interesting to see what we find out this week, eh? With that HBO documentary coming out. Nobody knows who Satoshi is. Let's be clear with my thoughts. I don't want to know who Satoshi is. I don't think we should be looking for who Satoshi is. There's some people that are more likely or not likely to be. But it's a gift they gave us, and they wanted just to be left alone. So let's just leave them alone. In saying that, I think the documentary is being very smart with their advertising. Very, very clever. Well done to them for doing that. I really don't believe they're going to discuss who Satoshi Nakamoto was. But I think it'll probably be a pretty cool documentary. The trailer looks pretty cool, so we'll see what happens when it comes out. I'll definitely be watching it. I fucking hope they do not. Excuse the profanity. It's a grand and glorious day. The ocean's like dead flat this morning. We're just about to go out snorkeling. Don't know if we'll take the kayak or the jet ski or just go straight off the mainland this morning. So I'm in a bit of a buzzing mood. But it'll be an interesting documentary. We'll see. And hopefully, they just talk a whole lot of shit. Maybe it's Craig Wright. Maybe Craig Wright's Satoshi now. 10 more BSV today. I have no idea what you're talking about. Valenti. So much evil squeezed into such a little. Women. The Bitcoin price is going to melt faces. 100% it is. Not affected, but some family. My brother is a lineman in Florida. OPD, I'm so sorry to hear. It just looks absolutely crazy. Looks insane, really, what's going on. We get them here. We had a bad one. I don't know. Last decade and a half and stuff. And when I was living up in Cairns, lived up on a hill and just watched this roof like go like that and then just peel off, and then trees down everywhere. They're so destructive. The only thing I like about them is when the community gets together, it reminds us that we're all human, but the loss of life, the damage to property is stuffed up. BitStatP, hey, I just found this channel. Always love new Bitcoin stream. BitStack, epic to see you this morning, mate. It's a pleasure to be able to have you here. Blick, morning, sir. Blick, good to see you. I need a haircut, but I won't be in Melbourne until I think January next year. So please book me in, mate. If you're in Melbourne, you need to see a hairdresser. Reach out to Blick in the YouTube comments. It's beautiful here. Visiting my kids, sun, sand, and sats. Headed to North Shore later this week. Not a surfer or waves, but a sidewalk surfer. Stack sats and stay free. Folks, how epic, Earthbum. Living the dream. Valenti, we're a Bitcoin Maxi channel. Well done, Jake. Send the signal. Earthbum Sean, thanks, man. You're a good guy. Thanks for all your work, getting the word out. Appreciate you. I appreciate everyone being here. the people that are really paying attention to Bitcoin now have the opportunity. And depending on how big your stack is now, maybe you need to wait 4, 8, 12 years to really create massive change in your life, your friends' family life, and then do greater good in the world. But I believe Bitcoin's that cheat code to be able to get you there in every single way possible. The harder you can go, the faster you can do that, the quicker that will happen. But if you're just consistently DCAing over a long period of time, 4 years, hit your goal, hit your stretch goal, and then just let time play out, everything you ever wanted, you can achieve. It's 100% possible. And I think with Bitcoin, the probability makes that extraordinarily high because Bitcoiners, they really focus, they cut through the noise, they find what the signal is, what the truth is for them. So everyone, thank you so much for putting in the proof of work, for making your lives better, because when you make your own life better, when you allow your own light to shine, you allow others to do the same. On that note, have a very beautiful day. I am going to go see if I can find Nemo today. We'll see you tomorrow. Be blessed. One last thing. Please, actually 2 last things, if you're willing to entertain me for a minute. The first thing is do something nice for yourself and then somebody else out there. If you can't find somebody else and you're going for a walk on the beach, 3 pieces of rubbish is an easy thing to be able to do. Look after the turtles. The second thing, if you're in Australia, only in Australia, and you like eating meat, me and my best friend from high school created rarejerk.com.au, and he owns a multi-award winning restaurant, has Michelin star chefs working for him. Some of the best jerky in Australia. We've got people commenting that have tasted it. We're shipping at the moment. The original jerk flavor is both carnivore and keto friendly. It's basically a nice steak, chopped up, dried, a bit of salt, and sent packaged to you. The double smoked is the crowd favorite, the dad's barbecue as well. If you like a little bit of spice, it's got a little bit of chili flakes on there. But if you like jerky, I'd love you to be able to try it out and give some feedback. But the people that are calling through, and there's a big person in Bitcoin in Australia gave me a call the other day and said, Sean, it's the absolute best. I'm like, stop blowing smoke up my ass, mate. He said, no, truly, it's really good. He's going to come out with a review next week, so expect that. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, support the channel. It's something that I'm highly passionate about. I hurt my back last year really bad. Like, it really fucked me up. I didn't get to go to the gym for 9 months. For 3 months, I basically laid in a hammock, did my physio each day, ate steak, eggs, and jerky. That's when the sort of idea popped into my mind and led me to my healing. I think beef is a superfood. I understand not everyone eats it. My wife doesn't eat red meat, so I understand that. It's at the start, it led to some interesting conversations here at home. But I truly believe is a superfood, and it's not for everyone. But if you do like a nice bit of jerky, I'd love you to try the original jerk, rare jerk. Anyway, thank you so much for that. Have a very, very beautiful day. You're all freaking legends. And Bitstack, working on one coin myself. It's not about buying one. It's about getting to one. 100%. Fucking what a legend. So cool to have you here. I look forward to more and more banters. For everyone out there, be blessed. Peace.
Everything seemed normal. Successful businesses were functioning as they usually should. Money was being placed in the bank as savings. Life was good. Nobody notices anything funny. But 2008 hits and all hell breaks loose. Everything we thought about money and the banking was a complete lie, a complete sham, a Ponzi, a scam. The whole world fell apart and a lot of people got hurt financially. And as a result of this, the Bitcoin white paper was born. But yet the same mistakes keep happening over and over again. People are leaving money on their institutions up until the last straw, FTX, when billions of dollars were lost, families were decimated, life savings were completely wiped, and people were wondering what on earth just happened. we have an option to take full custody of our funds, and that's Bitcoin. We just have to learn the process. It's not hard. It's just something we've never had to do before. Otherwise, the same mistakes are going to keep repeating themselves, and people are going to continue to get hurt over and over and over until they learn you need to exit the system in order to protect yourselves and your loved ones.